Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Wednesday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, sports, and so much more. My name is Glenora Shipura. Starting us off in the news tonight, Popular Democratic Movement President McHenry Venani has called for urgent political intervention to address Namibia's worsening youth unemployment crisis, warning that parliamentary inactivity is compounding a social and economic emergency facing the country's young majority. In a press statement released earlier today, Venani said the continued rise in youth unemployment posed one of the most serious threats to our country's social cohesion, economic growth, and future development, arguing that young people were being systematically excluded from meaningful economic participation. Citing official figures, Venani noted that youth unemployment stood at 44.4%, according to a 2023 Namibian Parliament report, with the Namibia Statistics Agency projecting it will rise to 45% by 2025. Now, he added that when combined with the potential labor force, the rate among younger people was projected to reach 61.4%, leaving a majority of Namibia's youth economically marginalized. Venani said his party had long pushed for decisive action, recalling that in 2021, PDM MP Ina Hengari tabled a motion calling for youth unemployment to be declared a national emergency. He urged the government to follow South Africa's example by formally recognizing youth unemployment as a crisis requiring extraordinary measures. Venani argued that such a declaration must be matched with action, including the immediate establishment of a dedicated parliamentary committee focused solely on youth unemployment. In our next story, Prime Minister Dr. Elijah Ngurare has reaffirmed Namibia's steadfast friendship with long-standing partners Cuba and Venezuela, saying the country will not apologize for those ties despite current geopolitical tensions following the reported abduction of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces. He made the remarks while signing a book of condolences at the Venezuelan embassy in honor of those who perished in the January 3rd U.S. military operation that led to Maduro's capture, a move widely condemned by Venezuelan and Cuban officials as a violation of sovereignty. Ngurare signed the condolences book on behalf of President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah.
Comes to town, she will make a turn herself here. So we should not be shy to be friends at a time when the geopolitical space is being what it is. And we must also not forget our friends who stood with us. So that's why we have come to pay homage and respect to you. Please remain consoled, and our thoughts and prayers are with you. I came with the Minister of Finance. She studied in Cuba, which is the same part of the world. Yes. So there are many Namibians who are deeply affected and pained by what has happened. So the President of the Republic, Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, sends deepest condolences to those that have perished and give you the strength that we are in solidarity with you.
The president of the Namibia National Students Organization, Dorothea Nangolo, says that while the policy commitment to fully subsidize tertiary education marks a historic and a progressive shift in Namibia's education and social development trajectory, the current manner of implementation is fragmented, inadequately defined and structurally exclusionary. Nangolo made these remarks at a public meeting on Wednesday in Windhoek. Let's have a look.
This position arises from an urgent and shared concern that while the policy commitment to fully subsidized tertiary education marks a historic and progressive shift in Namibia's education and social development trajectory, and the current manner of implementation is fragmented, inadequately defined, and structurally exclusionary. If left unaddressed, these shortcomings risk reproducing inequality, undermining public confidence in state institutions, and negating the transformative policy or the transformative promise of the policy itself. Ladies and gentlemen, the declaration by the President of the Republic of Namibia, Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Ndaitwah, that tertiary education will be fully subsidized from 2026 academic year constituted a social contract between the state of this country and the students. It was a declaration grounded in the constitutional imperatives of equality, dignity, and access to education, and it responded directly to Namibia's enduring structural inequalities, where education remains one of the most decisive determinants of social and life outcomes. Namibia continues to rank among the most unequal societies globally, with a Gini coefficient exceeding 0.59 and the youth unemployment rate persistently above 50%.
Residents of Gobabis have expressed serious concern over the worsening state of open dumping sites and ongoing sewage problems, which they say pose a direct threat to human health, the environment, and local wildlife. According to information received by Network Media Hub from community members, open dumping sites near the plots around Gobabis have expanded significantly over time. A video taken at the end of 2025 and sent to NMH shows garbage spread far beyond designated dumping areas, overtaking surrounding land. The affected areas include plots where wildlife such as free-roaming horses, kudus, duikers, and steenboks are common. Residents warn that the continued spread of waste poses a serious risk to animals and contributes to increasing environmental degradation. In addition to the dumping sites, residents say sewage problems continue and in some areas have worsened. Complaints include open manholes, overflowing sewage, and related infrastructure issues that remain unresolved, creating further health and environmental risk. Against this backdrop, residents have also voiced frustration over broader service delivery issues, including prolonged power outages in parts of the town. Despite queries being sent, no response had been received from the Gobabis municipality by the time of filing this report. That concludes our top stories. On the other side of the break, we will be taking a look at what's leading the story of the day.
Ready to be entertained? We've got you. GoTV's got more shows just for you.
That's right.
More movies?
Yes, Jackpot.
More kids shows?
Of course.
And more football than anywhere else.
No doubt about it.
Yes, we've got more. And we've got you. Pay for your current GoTV package and we'll upgrade you to the next highest package. Get more with GoTV. At home or on the go with GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
In our story of the day, Walvis Bay's education system is undergoing strain, with schools across the circuit operating at full capacity and at least 373 grade 1 learners placed on a waiting list. With the academic year set to begin in weeks, hundreds of children risk starting their schooling late. According to Walvis Bay Circuit Education Inspector Teresia Hojases, schools are full across all grades, forcing education authorities to introduce additional platoon groups and delay the start of school for some learners. We have had a waiting list of 373 grade 1 learners which our office tried to place at different primary schools by increasing the number of platoon groups, including afternoon sessions. Kokhases said she explained that school principals have been urged to facilitate and fast-track enrollment processes, while the Regional Education Office advertises teacher posts to accommodate the additional learners. If appointments proceed as planned, affected learners are expected to begin classes by the 2nd of February 2026, unless school management makes alternative arrangements. Most primary schools in the circuit have enrollments exceeding 1,300 learners, with the exception of JP Brand Primary School, which currently has 275 learners due to limited hostel space. Kokhases noted that the demand for school placements continues to rise annually as families relocate to Walvis Bay in search of employment opportunities. While the construction of new schools remains a pressing need, Kokhases cautioned that infrastructure expansion alone will not resolve the enrollment crisis. Schools are also grappling with severe overcrowding, with some classrooms accommodating up to 54 learners due to a shortage of classrooms. Additional challenges include insufficient desks and chairs, shortages of textbooks, inadequate ablution facilities, a lack of cleaners, limited stationery supplies, and weak parental involvement. That concludes our story of the day. We will be taking a look at our economic news after this.
Life is unpredictable and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
Government Institutions Pension Fund's CEO Martin Nkubi has assured members that those who benefit from the fund's new pension-backed home loan scheme will not lose their homes even if they fail to repay the loan in full by the time they retire. Speaking recently on network television's The Agenda, Nkubi said the fund has structured the scheme in a way that protects members from the risk of repossession while still complying with pension fund laws. In the case of these members not being able to pay, they just forego the 1/3 portion on retirement. Nkubi said with pensions, they only take 1/3. 2/3 are still there for them to get a monthly payment. The 1/3 is usually what the retired member gets as a lump sum payment. Now, in this case, when they have used it to buy or build a home, but for one reason or another they have struggled to repay it, on retirement they can still get the 2/3 in the form of a monthly pension annuity, but the 1/3, the lump sum, they will forego. But at least they have a house. So there will be no incident of repossession of such a house because they go with their title deed. They will have their title deed at home. Nkubi was responding to public concerns that the new housing finance model might indirectly push members back into debt with commercial banks. He clarified that the pension-backed home loan scheme does not involve commercial banks. This scheme, the pension-backed home loan scheme, is not working through commercial banks. It's directly with GIPF. he explained. Although obviously we have appointed administrators to do the admin work, the member will not need to go and borrow from the bank and then the pension provider guarantees. He added that the administrators were not a replacement for banks, but were only tasked with managing transactions on behalf of GIPF. Let's take a look at the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.00, against the euro at 19.09, against the US dollar at 16.40, against the Chinese yuan. You can trade one Chinese yuan. Moving on to our commodities market, the Brent crude oil went up at 1%, going for $66.31 per barrel. On the other side of the break, we take a look at our international news.
Life is unpredictable and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
In international news, Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has announced that his government has cancelled all agreements with the United Arab Emirates, accusing the Gulf state of failing to respect Somalia's sovereignty and unity. In a televised address, Mohamud said that the federal cabinet decided to terminate agreements covering economic infrastructure, security, and defense. He stressed that while relations with the UAE had initially been based on good faith, Abu Dhabi did not engage Somalia as a single unified state. The UAE did not treat us as a single unified government with sovereignty and independence, Mohammed said. We repeatedly requested that they engage with us as a one unified Somalia government, but this did not happen. The president went further, accusing the UAE of bypassing the federal authorities and interfering in Somalia's internal affairs. They even engage in illegal activities within the country by circumventing the federal government. Let's have a look.
And it came to our attention, sadly to say this, that some of those provisions and protocols were violated, and we had a credible information. Some of them are still classified, so we cannot disclose them at this particular moment. And we still maintain and hope to maintain the diplomatic relations we have with the United Arab Emirates. I hope this sends the signal and the message necessary, and that you cannot, and Somalia will not tolerate to encourage secessionism or to deal with the subnational entities as they are not part of Somalia. We want our sovereignty to be respected, and that's not a tall order, and that's what we are asking for. And we hope the UAE will stop and desist from interfering in our internal affairs and respect our international borders.
Algeria's President Abdelmadjid Tebboune has called on Algerian youth living abroad in vulnerable and illegal situations to come home. During Sunday's cabinet meeting, the president said he would regularize the status of these younger citizens, including those who have committed minor infractions in their host country. Some of these young people were misled and exploited to act against their own country, the government said in a statement. These young people now find themselves separated from their families and friends, suffering in poverty and exploited in degrading work, the statement read. The measure could affect tens of thousands of young Algerians who have left their homeland illegally in recent years. Some 54,000 Algerians immigrated to Europe between 2020 and 2024, according to the International Organization for Migration. Under Algerian law, leaving the country illegally is punishable by up to 6 months in prison and a fine. The presidential decree would allow these youth to come home without facing legal proceedings if they pledge not to reoffend. That concludes our international news. Let's swing over to the weather predictions for tomorrow. The capital city can expect a minimum of 21 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius with partly cloudy conditions, while Katima Mulilo can enjoy some showers with a minimum of 19 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. Adams Bay can expect a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 33 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions, while Handys Bay can expect a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius with partly cloudy conditions. Sports news follows shortly. In our sports recap this evening, the Namibian Squash Association today announced that Lehugo van Rooyen will lead the Namibian men's squash team as national captain for this year's Jarvis competition in Mossel Bay in July 2026. Lehugo is widely regarded as one of Namibia's top squash players, known for his precision, tactical brilliance, and unwavering dedication on the court, bringing invaluable experience and leadership to the team. The final team representing Namibia will be determined by the selection committee based on players' participation in the program, fitness, tournament performance, squash levels, ranking at the time of a team announcement, injury status, and the results of challenge matches, the association said. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in and catching up on the latest news with Sunset News from us in the studio. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.